Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back. Wrestling Paradox Podcast. This is the final show of the year. This is it, right, Chris? This is it, the last show of the year?
Yeah, unless something
I
dramatic
mean,
happens.
unless something dramatic happens, but I'm thinking this is it. We are going to take a pause after this, enjoy some time with the families, and do our thing with our families. So, ladies and gentlemen, inside the Paradox tonight, we have a very special guest. But before we get to all that, we got to get the sponsorship out the way. M&J Ecological, 305-697-2258. Make sure you guys give Marcus a call if you guys have any problems, any rodents or critters, snakes, iguanas, whatever you have in your house that you do not want, like my wife. You can call Marcus and he will get them out. So 305-697-2258. Also, special shout out to CCW Coastal Championship Wrestling. Been in business for over 18 years. If you are living in the South Florida area and you want to become a wrestler, CCW is where to do it at. Contact Nelly or Dan, and they'll be more than happy to get you going with that.
Or if you want to be a referee.
Or if you want to be a referee, peek behind the curtain. Chris is training to become a referee. Are you excited?
Yeah.
I bet. Yeah. Well, CCW talking, we have somebody in the house tonight, a very special guest, CCW's own up and coming star. You have seen him in Tennessee tagging with Bruce Leroy and this year. You have seen everything on CCW Live, and you'll be seeing him very again soon at all these shows. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Noah King. What is up, man?
How y'all doing, fellas?
What's going on, brother?
First
How
of
you
all,
feeling?
I'm doing great, bro. How y'all doing?
Good. Well, we're inside the Paradox, so living the dream, I guess.
That's been the motto. That's been the motto for 2020. Living the dream,
It's a fucking dream, all right.
Or living in a dream. Let's just say
that. One of the two.
Mm-hmm.
So what's going on, man? How you feel? You finally got in. We've been trying to plan this for a while. I know schedules haven't matched up, but finally we got you here.
I'm feeling great, bro. Just happy to be here. Happy we finally got to do this. We have been talking about it for a while, as you said, when we first met in Tennessee after, the matches and things like that. So, just happy we were able to kind of, finally find some time between all of our busy schedules to kind of get this going.
For sure. Well, I mean, we got to get into it, man. Who are you? Who is Noah?
I mean, that's a loaded question. I mean, I'm a man first.
The best answer we have ever gotten to that question. Thank you.
That's what I'm here for. I'm just trying to provide perspectives that aren't there. Noah King is a dream in a sense. Noah King is man, just like the realization of a lifelong passion. That's who Noah King is.
Right, that's
a good answer.
That's the best answer we've gotten to that question.
Yes.
We asked Benny Blanco that question. We were like, "Hey, who's Benny Blanco?" And he was like, "No." That's all he did.
Well, no, if you want the real answer, we asked Benny Blanco. Who is Benny Blanco? He goes, "Well, I'm 0-3."
and then he goes, "No." Your boy Nasir took care of business in Tennessee that first time. So yes. Man, like we asked that question, who are you? And you say you're a dream. And it's pretty cool because you're actually living out your dream, I'm assuming, with CCW, and I'm assuming you grew up a wrestling fan. And tell me about that. Who did you watch growing up? What years did you get into it? Like, what inspired you to become this wrestler?
Man, that's I've been watching wrestling as long as I can remember. Even just I guess my earliest memories of it is just we were living in this apartment in the middle of town. I ain't gonna say it was a rough upbringing or nothing like that, but just making them meet and things like that. earliest memories, I'm sitting on the floor with like my dad and my mom in the living room and just seeing like, I just remember The Rock being on the top rope and he's coming out for his entrance and he throws the fist up and you see all the flashes from the cameras. Like, you guys remember camera flashes? Like,
Yeah, don't have it no more. It's like signs. It's disappeared.
right, like just all that, and then just the lights glaring and flashing and glaring, and then I mean, from there it's just like every part of my life, like wrestling is there, like whether it be just as a fan or me trying to like learn more about the behind the scenes of it. I mean, I guess it's kind of like it went in phases. Like elementary, I was just the biggest fan, and from there it was like everybody wanted to be playing NFL and playing NBA, and it was just like, nah, I want to beat guys up for a living.
Nice. Well, you started on a good path. Hopefully the next guy you beat out is Benny Blanco and he goes to 0-4. But so The Rock, that's who you wanted, was The Rock. Like, that's who you wanted to be. That's what you aspired. That's what you saw.
The Rock is definitely like my earliest memory. I don't even know if I still have it, but like my mom, she brought me this toy. It was like a plushie of The Rock, and it had like he's like standing like this. He has a little vest on, and like they have like the some kind of like piece in there was like bone breaking. So like if you bent the arm out of shape, you would hear it crack and all that kind of stuff. Definitely The Rock is like number one. Right. Like he had to. He didn't have a choice. But yeah, no, definitely The Rock is like number one on like whatever the inspiration list is for me, honestly, because he's like the first memory I have of wrestling. From there, it just went to like I started branching out into different things. Like, um, I have like two brothers. Like me and my middle brother, I'm the youngest. We were like we destroyed the couch just trying to be the Hardy Boys. Just jumping into the carpet, no padding, just just
Elbow
falling as
drop
hard as
right,
you can.
just cracking your elbow and shit. Yeah, I get it.
Right.
I know.
We had Jeff Hardy's luck that we didn't really maintain. We didn't sustain any major injuries, but we went out there and we threw our bodies on the line. We put our bodies on the line, and a lot of times we came out with victory.
Yeah,
and
normally what happens.
Wait till you turn about 32 years old and you try to go bowling one night. You're gonna wake up the next day like, oh my god, you're gonna be sore walking around. You go from jumping off a couch, no injuries, to hey, I played darts last night. Why is my arm hurt?
I sneezed and my hip is bothering me.
I blew out my back sneezing like 3 weeks ago. I'm not even
kidding. Trust me. This cold weather does not help. Let's just say that when you wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
So you made, obviously you went through elementary school, middle school, high school. You became that fan. At what point did the tide start to shift and you said, okay, this is the direction I'm heading. I want to be a wrestler. Let me find a school. Oh, look, there's CCW. How'd that happen?
I mean, that actually came kind of like relatively recently and relatively late in my development, honestly. Like, I mean, I guess like there was like a point where it was like, okay, like once I hit high school and then colleges start coming into play and things like that. Now it's like, okay, well maybe I have to think of something else that I might want to do with my life. So like, I did the college thing for a while, and that was an experience. It was fun, and I mean, I definitely appreciate being there and all that kind of stuff. But then I came back home and I was kind of just working for a while. And then just so happened, like I was just working, like not, I don't want to say dead end job, but just working a job just for the sake of like having money and
just to work. You're working to work. Yeah. We're there now.
Yeah, you get caught in that rat race and you kind of like lose focus and things like that. And then I think actually like this, and which is why for everything 2020 has been, I do feel like it's a very progressive year for me, just because with the pandemic coming and then making everybody stop everything basically and kind of like figure out what you're going to do, because we didn't have an option. You can't go out to bars, you can't go to a restaurant, you can't go to Dave and Buster's or whatever. Kind of made me sit and reevaluate like what I was doing. Is like, yeah, I'm working, yeah, I have these bills I have to pay, but like, what do I want to work this job for the rest of my life, or do I just want to work job to job and just wait till something comes along where I'm like, all right, well, this is okay enough. And then from there, that was when I got on the computer, hit the Google machine, and then CCW came along, and I went out there, and I met Pablo, and I met Nelio, and I met Dan, and it's just been kind of off to the races from there.
Who when you met Pablo, what was that relationship like right away? Did he like, obviously they see something in you and they want to push you to that next level? I mean, where do you give that credit to? Is that more of a Pablo thing or a Dan thing? Like, who do you find yourself more attached to say, hey, look, I know I can go to him and I can talk to him more?
Well, I mean, I feel like at CCW, it's like totally open. Like, you can speak to everybody there. Like, everybody's there to see everybody get better, especially like the management. Pablo, like the first day I came to, like, I didn't even know I was going to train the first day, to be honest. Like, I came in some shorts and stuff like that. Like, I was wearing clothes as if in the event that they asked me to do something, I was like prepared. But like, first thing that Pablo said as I'm like introducing myself, he's like, man, you have a look. And like, and it was like, for me, that was like, oh shit, I got a look. Like, I went home on a high that day.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, oh, I have a look. I mean, but yeah, everybody there is really really supportive. It's like Pablo, he definitely pushed me to be better, especially in the early stages. He saw a lot, he saw a lot of me. Dan has only furthered my development, just helping me with things such as psychology and why we do certain things, which is so important in wrestling. Even Nelio is just like that. Nelio is like one of the player coaches.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, he's that driving force that kind of, he pushes everybody to kind of, because he's in there, he's trying to get better, and and he's one of the, one of the management team. So he's in there, he's trying to get better.
Kayfabe, bro. That's the brother of the Vicious.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, I don't.
I've never seen them together.
I haven't seen. But that's the thing. Nelio hasn't had a match. I don't know. He's been in there working.
Did you see his interview? Did you see his interview?
Yeah.
At the last second, not the Brazilian Giant. I was like, dude, change it.
Oh man.
And that interview went to like 11 o'clock at night, and he was in a jacket, shirt, tie.
Dude, he's so awesome. Like, I talk to Nelio daily now. Like, obviously, Noah, you see me around more with the training center and things like that. And I'm not trying to become a wrestler. I'm trying to lose a little weight here and try and feel better about myself. But it's fun, man. I told Chris, it's a high. You get in there and you take a bump, dude. You weren't there. I did a sunset flip the other day, and I was like, holy shit, yes. I was like pumped up, and and dude, like it's definitely a high when you get in that ring and you start getting that around you and everybody's clapping you up when you do something right, and it's just like, yes, I want to do it again. Right. So that's and dude, I've seen you work. You're not a small guy. You're a little bit bigger. You're a little taller. And man, you got you have something special about you. And I see the same thing in Bruce Leroy. And it's funny when I talk to Nelio on the side, or I talk to, somebody like a Will Austin or a Vic Arson who has that age to them. I mean, Will Austin's still kind of young, but he's so far developed in his career that you're brought up constantly. Bruce Leroy is brought up constantly. Benny Blanco, maybe not for the best reasons, but he's brought up. Like, you are part of that younger crowd, that younger crop of students that are coming up, and you guys are going to be what carries on CCW for the next 5-10 years.
Definitely.
So there's a
Definitely.
lot of responsibility on your shoulder to keep this company booming and where it's at. And I know, Nelio has high hopes for you. I've talked to him personally, and that's not a secret. I think you know that too. Everybody has
Right.
high expectations of you guys, and you and Bruce are Bruce and Nasir right now are one of my favorite like three-man tag teams right now in CCW. You guys are fun to watch. Nashville was amazing. That whole I've said it multiple times to Chris, and I said to Nelio last week in the interview or 2 weeks ago. I said, look, that ending to that match, whoever produced it, whether it was them kids by themselves, it was so fun to watch.
Right. Man,
So
that was a blast actually. Like that was my first time performing in front of a crowd of that size. And it was just like they were like all into it. And it was like
yeah,
uh
give you that
it was
adrenaline
on a
rush.
completely different level. Yeah, like um I don't know, man. It was crazy to be in there and then just kind of like again just going back to the living the dream. That was definitely like a part of it. And it was like parts of that match is just like everything was just like it's almost like it happened so fast. Like it went
Mm-hmm.
so quick. And then man, to his
for
credit, just
for
uh
someone like myself, I wasn't in Nashville with Joe the last time. Compare yourself to we know that The Rock was your why you got into wrestling, why you started watching wrestling, but compare your wrestling style to someone that's someone that hasn't seen your match.
um dang, that's hard. I kind of like because I try to take bits and pieces from different people and things like that. Like, just me knowing, what I'm capable of and things like that. I try to I've been watching a lot of like British wrestling, not
Ah,
necessarily older stuff, but like guys like Trent Seven and Tyler Bate and
Fuck
Pete
yeah.
Dunne, just all those guys, just that I love so much just that kind of bruising technical style. Like I'm gonna put you in a hold that's gonna transition you to another hold, and then I'm gonna transition that into another hold and then drop you on the top of your neck. And like all
Dude,
of that, I just love it so much. And that's the kind of
much
stuff,
respect for that. Great
yeah.
answer. Very good answer. That's awesome. That's awesome. Chris, go right ahead, man. I'm just in shock because we haven't gotten that answer. I have not heard Trent Seven ever get brought up, and he deserves it. And dude,
well,
like Pete
that's
Dunne is amazing.
yeah,
So very good
and
people to look up
Dunn
to.
he got so cut over the quarantine. But like Trent Seven is a guy I definitely identify with just I mean, obviously I'm still working and things like that, but just like I just feel like my build, my stature is similar to his, and some of the things that he's able to do is like maybe like I would think twice about doing. Okay, I just have to put my work in and I can get there. So like
Mhm.
definitely Trent Seven is one of those guys for me.
So now, do you still watch wrestling? Obviously, you train you aspire to be, you know, you aspire to lengthen your career in the wrestling industry. What other wrestling promotions do you watch? Obviously you don't watch the WWE, the AEW, and everything, but you made mention of the British wrestling. Do you watch like Red Pro, New Japan, and everything like that?
Yeah, I try to watch as much wrestling as I can, no matter where it's from. I watch New Japan as much as I can, just as far as like I mean, I don't catch everything, of course. I catch the bigger matches if I can go out of my way to find them. I do try to follow Ring of Honor a lot. It's been a little weird with their restart and things like that.
Yeah, the
Uh,
tournament and everything like that. Yeah.
yeah, but I heard the tournament was great. I didn't get to see any of it just yet, but I heard that the Pure tournament was really good. Um, Obviously NXT UK, NXT, WWE, AEW. Outside of that, I do watch like Progress, which I
Hmm.
really got into, especially since I started training. I just love that style. Like it's not like it's so like I just love. I guess it would be the catch
Yeah,
style of wrestling.
catch cans
Yeah.
wrestling. Yeah. Yeah.
So like I watch a lot of Progress. Well, Progress. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Um, MLW I watch, and then I try to watch any kind of like I don't even know if they're running right now, but like PWG highlights, even if it's from years ago, things like that. Yeah, I try to consume as much as I can just so that I can like, because you can take bits and pieces from everywhere.
Oh,
So I just try to like be like a damn hungry hippo and just try to like gather
Now
all
that
the
you said that you're like a that you're into like all those other territories like that and those other companies, Chris is slowly falling in love with you because that's all the shit that Chris watches.
right.
Everything you're saying, like I've never watched Progress. I'm sure Chris has watched 20 episodes. Chris got me in PWG, and that's kind of where I discovered Brian Cage a little bit. And I was like, man, this is awesome. Just like going right up to the ring and fucking just whacking on
Right.
the ring and shit. Yeah,
well,
it's
in
great.
progress, if you go back and you like watch some of their matches and some of their storylines that they have, it's like unbelievable. Like with Joe Coffey, Joe Coffey is like he wrote his own like entrance themes, and he would like sing over like other songs and create a music video, and it would be like a diss track to the guy in the ring. And
Right.
but his moves and his style was so like strong but smooth at the same time. You would never know you're watching a strong style match.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
so crazy overseas. Like, oh man.
it is. What was the other is it Rev Pro?
Yeah, Rev
Um
Pro's the other one. Yeah.
Rev Pro, they're Irish, right there.
Yeah. Yeah. And ICW. And no, he froze.
No, come back. This is actually a really good interview. I'm really enjoying this. Come back. Is he okay? Dude, this kid's awesome. I told you, man. I like
He's
this kid a
he's
lot.
he's not playing the still game, is he?
Oh,
No, he's a very knowledgeable kid. I
There
can
it
tell
is.
you
There
that,
he is.
man.
He's
He's
back. He's
awesome.
back. He's back.
oh, yeah. I'm sorry, guys.
No.
Nah, dude, don't apologize. You're good.
But ICW, the Insane Championship, over
But the
there.
ICW, there's another one. Because Jordan Devlin, he was there and he had that saga with like Walter.
Mhm.
I don't know if that wasn't ICW though. It was
Chris is not a fan of Walter. I'm gonna put it out there
Yeah.
because I am, and it upsets me.
why.
The only reason why I'm not is because, like I told Joe, is I've seen him overseas. I've seen him in Progress, and I've seen him in ICW, and his matches don't change. It's you know what you're getting.
I mean, yeah, but like that's
It's a
like
slap. Chris calls it a slap fest.
a slap.
I'm burying you, Chris. I'm shooting from the hip right
No,
now. I'm
it's
burying
fine.
you.
But it's not very. It's the truth. I mean, you can go back in like our archives of our show and you can hear me talk about it. It's just like it's like Brock Lesnar. I'm not a fan of Brock Lesnar.
Suplex City, bitch.
You get the same thing every time. It's nothing new.
I mean, yeah, but there's kind of like those guys, they just have this aura about them. Like, but that's kind of the same thing with like a lot of bigger stars. Like, you know what you're getting with a Triple H match. You know what you're gonna get.
Did you watch? I'm sorry to interrupt. Did you watch Walter versus Ilya Dragunov or whatever his name was
Yes.
in
That
NXT?
oh,
Oh
they beat the shit out of each other.
my god, yo! Like I watched it at like midnight, and we have a group chat with another friend of ours, and I sent that, and we all have kids, and we know not to text after a certain time. I'm like, yo, go watch this match right away, please. And there was a spot in there where Walter kicked Ilya right in the neck, like
Yeah.
the point of his boot, just like right in the neck. And I looked at it, I was like, oh my god! I went back and rewound it like 6 times. It was just such a stiff spot.
But like with me is like why I don't like Walter, whatever you want to call him. You got that, and you have Brock Lesnar. It's the same thing over and over again. But then you have a guy like Brian Cage, who's 285 pounds, get to the top rope at PWG and do a shooting star.
I mean, yeah.
You don't see that. That's something that you don't see from a big dude.
I mean, yeah, but like, there's just something also. Like, I love Brian Cage, and he's a great guy.
And he just signed. We got what? I don't even know. I think it's 5, maybe. I don't know, but he signed with CCW, and that's amazing.
Yeah, you know, guys, coming soon. I believe
we bought our tickets to Nashville already. We're ready to go.
That's the February show in Nashville.
Yeah, February 20th, baby. We will be in the building.
Into the machine, guys.
Yes.
But yeah, Chris. I mean, I definitely understand what you're saying. Like, there's an aura about bigger guys who can do things that big guys normally can't. But there's also an aura about big guys just being strong lads. Like
Lads.
big,
Well, I mean,
big
like,
losers.
and I don't want to ride Brian Cage's nuts. Like, I'm not swinging it from his nuts like Tarzan here, but we saw him in 2017 WrestleMania weekend. He teamed with Sami Callihan, and they went up against Ray Phoenix and Pentagon. And it was, you thought it was going to be like they're going to beat the shit out of him, you know, and everything like that. Not like that. Like, he was aerial diving over the top rope, you know, and it's like, that's when I was like, oh my gosh. Then I saw his old highlights from where he wasn't as cut in PWG, and he's doing moonsaults, springboards. And I'm like, dude, this guy's like awesome. Like, he caught my eye. And then literally like 2 months later, he's in Lucha Underground.
Yeah, definitely. Lucha Underground is where I kind of got big on Cage. Like, I love this run with them. Like,
and he was cool with Excalibur and PWG calling his finishing move the diverticulitis. Like, I loved it. I thought that was this because they always compared him and Brock Lesnar, and just for him to use Brock's move, and they call it diverticulitis.
That's hilarious, actually.
Noah, have you ever thought about going? Because you seem like you're the first person I've talked to aside from Chris who knows of other companies in like the European areas. Have you ever thought about going over there and trying to like train, or because a lot of people go to Mexico? We know people like Angelico came from South Africa and they went to Mexico and learned that style, or went to different islands and things like that. And a lot of people do that. Have you ever thought about maybe taking and seeing what holds, like what's over on the other side of the pond for you? Because you seem like such a huge fan of those wrestlers and that style.
I mean, yeah, honestly, I definitely would love to go over there someday and, like, you know, see what I could learn, and then just kind of be in that environment and see what the differences are. Because I mean, I can already imagine, just from one thing, just the culture on the day to day, to, I mean, culture is one thing, and then being in the locker room or in a training facility in a completely different place. I mean, but I'd love to do that someday. Like, just go over there and just try to soak up as much as I could, because I just love that style.
You're still a very green person. Obviously, you have so much to learn, and your door is wide open, man. The sky's the limit for you. There is no glass ceiling for you. Like, you're gonna do something one day, and you have so much to build on and build your arsenal up. And I think something that would work great for you, man, is just once you have that and you're ready to go over there, man. I think that would be awesome for you, because someone like you who's so invested into that style of wrestling over there, and that, you know, like, I think that would work well for you.
It's not a style, it's a culture.
Or not a style, a culture. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
a culture. I'm sorry. You know, we told Benny Blanco he should go to Alaska. That's where he belongs.
We told him to go find the North Pole. We told him to go find the North Pole. He couldn't find it. So,
yikes! Oh man!
If anyone that comes out and wrestles in pink flamingo trunks,
oh man,
that made me spit my shit up, man. Come on.
yo, he bust those out in Nashville, and I was like, wow. That's
wow. That's all we had to.
You go, wow, I have to wrestle this guy. Jeez.
Wow, that's different. I mean, hey.
Oh man.
Were you in Fort Pierce when we had to rough him up a little bit? Or was it Port St. Lucie? Sorry, Port St. Lucie.
Yeah, no, I couldn't make it to.
Yeah, I know it hasn't shown yet, but we had to rough up Benny Blanco a little bit. I don't know if you saw the video.
I mean, yeah. I saw a couple of clips. I saw a little scuffle and kerfuffle.
Yeah, he got something to say. He knows where to find us.
Right.
I mean, Blanco, one thing about him, he always is gonna have something to say. So I mean, you guys just kind of, I don't know what to tell you.
We're on the list.
Yeah, we had him on the show. We had him on the show, and we had to cut him off. We only asked 3 questions.
Oh yeah, I watched the whole. That was like the longest episode you guys ever had.
Mm-hmm. We were texting. We're like, dude, we gotta cut this off. Like, let's get that.
Like,
Behind the scenes, I love Blanco, man.
Yeah,
He's
we
a good
do.
kid.
We love him.
He's
Yeah.
a good kid, and I never mean any harm to him, man. He's awesome. But
Yeah,
shit,
no,
we
that's
gave him Rookie of the Year, man. And he took it and ran with it.
listen.
You know what's funny is Noah is at the TV taping, live tapings that we were at. Michael L. Ray introduced Benny to the ring, and he called him the Paradox Podcast Rookie 2020 Rookie of the Year. And somebody came up to me because I was standing in the back, and they go, "Did you tell him to say that?" And I go, "No, I didn't."
We didn't tell him. He
No.
just said it. We were like, all right, we'll run with it.
And they both came back, and they were like, "Hey, did you like that?" I'm like, "Yeah, like that's cool. You're putting this stuff over on YouTube. That's awesome."
I mean, yeah, I mean, hey.
Any publicity is good
Blanco,
publicity in my eyes. I don't care,
I mean, yeah, you know, Blanco's one of those guys. He's really passionate. And
That's
you
the
know,
word you use.
I mean, the thing you can't coach passion.
Yeah, you can't.
You know, it's one of those things you can't coach. It's like being 7 feet tall. You just can't. You can't teach that. So I mean, hey, you know, more power.
Oh, I see what he did there. I see what he did there. I saw what you did there. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
All right, man. We're not here for that kid. All right, we're here for you, sir. We are here for you. So CCW came into your life. So who in CCW have you like grown attached to? Obviously, Bruce Leroy and Nasir are your guys. Like the older veterans, Agony, Vinicius, Johnny Walker, Ocean, those kind of guys, Arson, these kind of guys. Like, who do you find yourself? Fuck, I messed up there. Who do I go ask? Who do I go talk to?
I mean, to be honest, I feel like I try to again, I try to like I'm so passionate about wrestling and just like and one thing I always say is like it's the only thing I've ever known that I want to do. Like regardless of going to college, whatever I majored in, and you know, just working and all that kind of stuff. It's the only thing that I ever knew for sure that I wanted to do. But with that being said, I just feel like I try to soak up all types of game from anybody who'll give me a word on anything, whether it be Dan, whether it be Nelio. Couple guys I tend to go to. Agony's one of them. Alex is one of them. Jackal is definitely one of them. A lot of times because Jackal is very much very heavy on the little things. You know, just the way you hit the ropes, the way you take a buckle, things like that. You know what I'm saying? Like those little things that make so much of a difference, or just like with Dan, just certain moves, like or certain sequences, or like if just again just the why you would do certain things, like we'll have a match and then he'll talk to us after and be like, well, why'd you do that when you, and then he'll be like, he'll ask you why you did a certain thing and you'll explain why.
And it's like, you should have done it this way.
Yeah, he'll explain to you why if you did it this way, it would have been better and gone over better because, or it would have made more sense. So, and that's one of those things. But yeah, definitely Alex, Jackal, Agony, well, the whole American Horror Story. You know, Vic is someone who's also very knowledgeable. He doesn't get as much shine or recognition, but yeah, and then you know you have guys like Cha Cha who are around, and Will who's around. You know, basically anybody that I can ask, be like, hey, did you see that? Or hey, I'm gonna do this, or I want to try this in this match. Can you just look and tell me what you thought of it, or tell me, you know, how things could have been better and things like that. Yeah, I just even newer guys like even Bruce and Santana, you know, Blanco, he's moved, but you know, certain things I definitely ask. I just ask as much as possible because, you know, even though like me and Santana, we both started around the same time, it's like he has his perspective and I have my perspective. So it's like he might think of something that I didn't think of, or I might think of something he didn't think of, and then you know, it just
meshes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you mentioned Vic Arson's name, and Vic Arson was the very first wrestler that we ever spoke to in CCW. We were at Summer Glory 13, and
Hey,
we met Vic Arson's wife in the crowd. She goes, "Oh, my husband wrestles here." We started talking because we had our Wrestling Paradox podcast. The Paradox had just started. Just started. We were fresh. We had did a couple episodes on some review shows on AEW. We got bored, man, and we said, let's do a podcast. Let's like have some fun with it. So we met Vic Arson, and now that I know behind the scenes and we see behind the curtains, myself and Chris, Vic Arson is a leader. It seems like to that locker room. He's when I went to the workouts, he was leading the workouts.
yeah,
He was the one starting all the bumps. He was the one kind of, going in there and telling people, hey, do this way, do that this way. Vic Arson, like you said, doesn't really get to shine, but man, he's a leader for you guys.
yeah. Vic is definitely he's one of those guys that is just like solid all around.
Mm-hmm.
And while he may not get the recognition, it's kind of like I feel like until you actually like sit and like look and like think about it, like, hey, this guy is really good. Like someone that I would, and I'm just throwing out names and spitballing here, but like I would probably compare him to like an Al Snow or Bob Holly, one of
Sure.
those guys who are like just really good and crisp with a lot of things. But like when you start thinking of names, it doesn't necessarily jump out to the forefront, which is not a discredit to Vic. You know what I'm saying? Because we all know how good he is, and we definitely appreciate all the inputs. And he's definitely one of those guys who always has like the very niche reference to like he'll pull a certain move out and then he'd be like, yeah, I was watching this match from like 95 from like a superstar show. Like who's watching superstars from 95? Like I don't even know superstars like WWF superstars was even on in 95, but he's like
Okay,
there and
okay, this is how old I am. WWF Superstars was on Saturday mornings at 10 o'clock in
I remember that. Yes.
the morning. Yeah, okay, that's how old I am.
Noah, how old are you?
I'm 23.
Oh yeah,
23.
exactly. Yeah.
For you to say that Vic Arson reminds you of Al Snow, personally, I think that's a great comparison
Mhm.
because he's a trainer. He didn't get all the spotlight, but he will be remembered of, oh, I remember Vic Arson, just like everybody. I remember Head. I remember Al Snow.
Right.
And he's a good locker room leader to have. But yeah, man, 23 years old and like you're throwing names out like that. It's pretty badass that you know who these guys are because a lot of kids your age, they're more into, and I don't mean to say kid, you're a grown ass man. I'm sorry. But a lot of people your age are into young bucks and, jumping and flying all around. Like myself, I'm a huge fan of Top Flight now. I think Top Flight's absolutely amazing. I still think they're
Yeah,
green, but they're very good at what they do. But, the cosplay wrestler has taken over the wrestling world in the indies and everything else. So it's to find someone who still knows about those older characters such as Hardcore Holly and things like that. It's pretty cool, man. That's pretty awesome on your end.
I mean, yeah, bro. I mean, it's one of those things. I mean, I love the indie style, and I mean, that's kind of like I believe those early, quote unquote, early indie days, even though there was indies way before that, but like my earliest indie days is just like 2005 TNA with the guys who were still doing Ring of Honor shows like AJ and Christopher Daniels and Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe's another guy. I really love his style. Like it's so, and he's very close to kind of like the modern British style as well. Just
Yeah, he's
how
catch
hard
can
hitting.
style. He's catch
Yeah.
can style.
Then he'll throw in, even as a bigger guy, he'll throw in a dive that you
Mhm.
didn't see coming, or you know what I mean. So definitely Samoa Joe is somebody else that I could like I try to emulate. Um, but yeah, like those earlier indie kind of matches, like I love that stuff. I love the new stuff as well. It's very entertaining with the very fast paced bang 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 work rate wrestling. But like I mean, I don't know. It's just like I don't know, man. I just love everything. I just love everything.
Dude,
As
you're awesome, man.
Joe pointed on, I like the I love indie wrestling. I think indie wrestling is the best thing. I mean, you talked about it earlier. It's not dead end jobs. It's your job. But then you go and train, and then you go and you do this as a hobby, which could turn into a profession. You made reference about ROH in 2005, and I tell Joe all the time that he needs to go back and watch like 2005, 2006 ROH. Well, from 2005 to 2009, because that's when Kevin Steen had and El Generico had and Cole Cabana too had a year storyline. Years, because I'm a huge storyline fan. I love wrestling matches that tell stories. I love angles. I even tell Joe all the time, I'm like, but this doesn't make sense. Like, they should have done this, then the story would have taken this turn, and it would have been more believable. The Cole Cabana, Kevin Steen, just that whole angle. Then you had to throw CM Punk in there. That was the best indie wrestling. I think you can even extend it a little bit to 2015 too. I mean, you can have TNA, and TNA was the hottest thing in like that era too. But I loved the 2001 TNA when it was only strictly on pay-per-view once a week.
Oh yeah.
And I paid the $10. Well, actually, I didn't pay the $10. I had an illegal cable box, so it was
the alleged illegal cable box.
Right.
Sorry on that.
Chris steals my WWE network too.
I've only used it once. Actually, no, not true. I watched it twice because I watched the Undertaker's documentary.
That was a great documentary.
It was very good, very good. Who would have thought that he would have went to one of the colognes to help him get back ring ready? It blew my mind.
Yeah, that was one of those. It was like, wow.
Like that blew. That has to be the highest honor coming from the Undertaker. Like, I want you to get me back ring ready.
Yeah. It's just another one of those things where it's like guys are like really good, and just because they're not, I don't want to like shit on anybody, or not shit on anybody, but like, throw any kind of shots to like any company or anything like that. But just because of whatever opportunities they may or may not have been given, they get this perception, from us as fans that, we just don't necessarily understand everything that they're capable of. And, to have someone who has the legacy of the Undertaker to kind of like pick you out, like, hey, I'm trying to get back in the best ring shape I can be in, and I need help. And I think you're the best person to kind of get me there. Yeah. It has to be like better than like, I don't know where that ranks as far as like championships, but it's gotta be up there. Like
funny story.
It's at least IC worthy.
It has to be at least like 270-day IC reign worthy somewhere.
We were on our way to Summer Glory, and I hadn't watched the Undertaker's final ride yet. And Chris goes, "Hey, funny story. Did you know one of the colognes? Was it Primo or Epico?"
It was Primo.
Yeah, it was Primo. Yeah.
He had told me. He goes, did you know Primo, one of the colognes, helped train the Undertaker? And I was like, what? I'm like the guy we're going to see tonight, like El Torito Bull, that guy. And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, what? And how we got into it is because we were talking about worst gimmicks, and their gimmick of the Bull Toro things,
Matadors
was one of the worst things ever. And when we made the video, we said, look, this isn't a shot on anybody wrestling wise. This isn't a shot on you as a person. Just your character you were stuck with sucked. And we look at wrestlers like Seven, Goldust, people like that. We're like, dude, just great wrestlers, but shitty characters. And, because we don't know whoever we're going to interview. Like, I don't want to shit on anybody. I want to make sure we've probably already done that a million times. Nobody from AEW will ever work with us. But like, we want to make sure we keep a good bridge for anybody to come in. And, it was just it was crazy when he told me that it was one of the colognes. I'm like, that's wild to me to think that one of them was going to do that. Speaking of which, Carlito is going back to WWE.
Yeah, I just
Legends
saw
Night. for a Legends Night.
I
41
mean,
years old. Homie still has it in the tank. Sign him. Sign him.
sign him now.
Now, you made
Carlito was
mention
great.
you made mention about Alex Ocean. I'm a huge Alex Ocean fan. Uh,
We
from
know.
just from a fan's perspective, watching him do what he does in CCW, and then go to ICW No Holds Barred and stick skewers in his head, go through late tubes. I enjoy that because I know where he comes from. Have you seen his deathmatch stuff?
I've gotten to see some of it. Some of it being firsthand. Like, I'm not sure what episode that was of
Oh yeah,
CCW.
yeah.
Alive Wrestling now on
Mhm.
YouTube. Guys, go subscribe. Catch your boy on the first episode of CCW Live.
I love it. I love it. Plug him. Plug him.
Yeah, no, CCW Live Wrestling on YouTube. I'm on the first episode of Alive Wrestling. I'm also on the first episode of Alive One, which is our spinoff show where you'll be getting one match. I believe it's once a week right now. Just one match, one-off matches. So you know, something to be said about that. I mean,
Nice.
inaugural episodes of both.
Can't
Trendsetter.
beat that. Can't beat that.
Can't.
IC title, first matches.
Right there, man. Here, let me just.
But yeah, no,
man. You just want it now.
Alex is one of those guys who like is like he's so capable and like so talented, and he does everything well. Like, from what I've seen, he's like he can, as you guys always say a lot of times, is like he can go out there and give you a 15-minute technical classic and then go and put you through a glass table under a door that's on fire with thumbtacks on top of it.
You
He's
just
not
gave him
elaborating.
an idea.
No,
You just
no,
gave him
that
an idea.
happened. That happened already. He
Oh,
already
did
went
it?
through that. Yeah, he already went through that.
Table, glass, tax, fire.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's definitely a sight to see, and then seeing it firsthand, it was a lot to take in. I'd never been that close to that kind of action, so it was like, oh man,
Did you see his match with Akira?
No, I haven't seen that one yet.
Oof, there was a rough
Yeah.
spot in there. There was
Yeah.
a rough. Chris, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, he
There
made
was
a
a rough spot.
reference. He made a reference. He was doing
Oh yeah, I
The
saw
Three
that.
Amigos, Eddie Guerrero, and
I saw that clip. I mean,
I love it. Heel shit, dog. I love it. I texted Alex the other night and I was like, yo, I just watched it. This was fucking amazing. You're awesome.
yeah, it's like I don't know. It's one of those things where, but I mean,
People
it's
call it cheap heat, but you know what? People were talking about Alex Ocean. Everybody in independent wrestling in a deathmatch world was talking about Alex Ocean. If your goal is not to have somebody talk about you and you're not here to make your name known, what are you doing here? People call it cheap heat.
exactly.
Fuck it. He got heat. He got what he wanted, and people gave it to him.
He said he was the most talked about indie wrestler for 2 days on Twitter.
That's a
I
win
mean-
to me.
I mean, it sounds like one. It's one of those things where it's kind of like it's like wrestling and comedy right now. Just the climate that we're in, the PC culture, and just like, and not to say like things are wrong and we shouldn't progress as a society, and like certain things shouldn't be like, hey, you maybe can't do that or say this or things like that. But it's like with things like wrestling and comedy and even movies and shit like that, it's like you have to be able to suspend your own personal beliefs and kind of like, okay, in this world, like it's entertainment.
It's a step out of reality. It's a step out
Right.
of reality. That's all it
Like,
is.
That's all
it's a step
I've
out
always
of
been wrestling
reality,
like that.
and it's entertainment, and it's like he said what he said. Obviously, he doesn't feel like that as a person on the day-to-day.
No.
But in the realm of the match that he was having, he had to do what he had to do to make people hate him.
And that's funny is my wife and I watch. My wife, I tell her story all the time. My wife hates pro wrestling. She thinks it's like so comical to her. But then I watched deathmatch wrestling, and she clues to it. She's like, "Oh, when's Alex's next match?" And everything like that. So we were watching it, and when he uttered those words, I turned to her. I did one of those slow turns, and I go, "That's not going to go over well." I go, "That's just not going to go." It went over like a fart in church. Like that's how it went over. And I talked to Alex in Port St. Lucie before Breaking Chains, and I was like, yeah, so I saw that Twitter apology. He goes, yeah. Then he told me about the most talked about indie wrestler for 2 days, and I said, look, from a fan standpoint, I don't mind it. I think it brought you. I saw your heel turn, but the only thing that happened was, I think it took away from that match, was Riley Madison coming in and siding with you because everyone was still yelling at you that they wanted to kill you,
Right.
and it took away from her joining forces with you. He goes, I 100% agree.
Yeah.
The dude in the back. Fuck you, Alex Ocean. You're the worst type of person.
He goes, I hope you die. When he goes, when someone yelled at him, I hope you fucking die, I was like, oh, man.
Yeah, dude. Like, what? Oh, man. This has been awesome so far, man. This has been amazing. Thank you. And, we want to thank M&J Ecological again, 305-697-2258. Make sure you guys reach out to him for any of your needs. 305-697-2258. Marcus is standing by. Don't call him at 10 o'clock at night. We want to thank CCW for making sure Noah can make this for us. Appreciate that. Man, this has been amazing. Completely amazing.
Oh, and by the way, look at the shirt there. No, look, that's a PWG shirt, by the way. It's Joey Ryan and Candice LeRae.
Right. Oh, look at her with the crimson mask.
Yeah. It was after their guerrilla warfare match with the Young Bucks.
Oh, true.
When they put the tacks on the bottom of their sneaker and they super kicked
her
in the head.
Super kick. Oh,
yeah. Dude, you guys should get together, man. You guys seem like your best friends watching old school PWG and shit.
I mean, you had Ronda Rousey standing ringside and Dave Meltzer standing ringside for PWG shows. Like, dude. And name me another show where you can cram 2,000 people into like a Rancho Cucamonga American Legion, and they pass around pitchers of beer. Like, that's like heaven.
It's like, yeah, it's a crazy environment, and like, I would love to experience it one day. It's like, I don't even know how I would react in that kind of environment because like the fans are right there, and yeah, it's like, it's nuts. They're banging on the ring. They're so involved in the match and they're all into it. Even with even I saw a bit, I think it was ACH and Adam Cole.
Oh, when he flicked him off.
Yeah, and he went like Stone Cold ACH versus Adam the Rock Cole. Like, it was crazy, and the fans are just going nuts for everything. It's
no one's seen the heel Adam Cole until they seen old PWG Adam Cole. When he would just walk out and just flick everybody off and just say, suck my dick. Like, that's all he would do. It's like this is the watered down version of Adam Cole we're getting now. It's kind of like the Young Bucks. It's like they're not the real Young Bucks. Young Bucks and ROH and New Japan were the real Young Bucks.
True. I mean, yeah, he's a face now, so I mean, he's not really as, but even ROH heel Adam Cole is intense. Like, even when he shaved Jay Lethal's head,
oh man,
lost it. I was like the braids. And
his storyline with Kyle O'Reilly, how they broke up,
right,
and then they got back together, and then they had that one match for the championship, which is street fight, which was insane.
Kyle O'Reilly's a fucking madman too.
Kyle O'Reilly's
I'm glad I could join the podcast. Thanks, guys. I'm glad you guys are just going down memory lane here.
Well, Kyle O'Reilly's another one too. That's kind of like a catch can style. Like, him, Freddie Yehai.
Freddie Yehai.
Freddie Yehai is amazing. Oh,
yeah. I still don't even know how he hits the ropes like that.
Like, on the middle rope. It's the weirdest thing.
His legs are like the furthest it can be from the ropes, and he's like hit like, oh man.
I'm afraid that he's gonna go through the ropes one time. Like just
Clearly, he's perfected it. I don't know, man.
Joe, have you seen him hit the ropes before?
No, I have not. I got
He
to.
goes to hit the ropes, and instead of hitting the top,
He hits
I
the
mean,
middle.
yeah, he drops down and
I've
hits the
heard of
middle.
it. Yeah, I've heard of him before. Yeah.
But he's tall enough to hit the top rope. Like that's what it blows my mind.
Maybe John Silver should start hitting the middle rope. Might look a
Johnny
little better.
Hungy. Johnny Hungy.
I wanted to ask. We asked this question obviously before we wrap things up. This is a question. This is one of Chris's favorite questions, and that is, if Noah King can fight any person, anytime, whether past, present, or is it present only, Chris? Is that the way you like the answer?
Yeah, present. Yeah.
If you could fight any person today
and have a 5-star match
in any company and have a 5-star match, who would it be?
That's tough.
Any wrestler, guy, girl, I don't care. It doesn't
There's
matter.
so many names that come to mind.
And it can't be Pat McAfee.
Dang, he's at the top.
He's mine. He's mine. I want a piece of him.
Oh man, I don't know. Like I'm really. That's rough. I would say any member of British Strong Style, but I have to pick one, huh?
Yeah.
Are you gonna go against Volta? I'm gonna just back you out that match. All right.
I would say Trent Seven, probably.
Trent? Nice, good answer, dude.
Probably
I am
Trent
just
7.
so over the moon that you are into him like that.
I
don't see it.
Yeah, I love Trent Seven. I love even damn, what's his name? There's a couple guys who I feel like are like really good, and I would love to see them get like a really like some good time in a singles match. Why can't I think of his name?
Oh, you're thinking of Gato.
I can't think of his name right now from what they call him in NXT, but Axel Dito Jr. Not Eichner.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh,
I can't think of his name. Shit.
From War Raiders?
No. From the Strong Style team. From Imperium.
Oh, I thought you said Eichner. I know who you're talking. Yeah.
We haven't watched NXT in so
Marcel
long.
Martel.
Yes.
Martel, yes.
I feel like he's a really good he would be a really good singles competitor. Like even if it wasn't necessarily like I feel like he would actually do really good in like the Heritage Cup if they make that like a consistent thing where that's like its own almost like championship in itself.
Mm-hmm.
That round system, like because I've seen his stuff on YouTube and he's like he's a wizard as they call me. Like but yeah, definitely Trent Seven. If I could somehow, I don't know what his status is medically, I would probably also say Joe. Samoa Joe.
Oh, I thought you were calling me out, bro. I was like, you want this right now?
Like,
you serious?
I'm ready.
You ready?
For myself right now.
You and Benny versus me and Chris right here in the Paradox. What's up?
No, man. I'm trying to get intel from Alex Ocean how to put skewers in people's heads. So I'm working on that.
You know who's always like I don't want to get into it, but you bring up these tag teams, and somebody for me that's always held like a small part of my heart, man, is Oney Larkin. I've always liked Oney Larkin. Chris gives me shit for it.
No, I like Oney Larkin,
dude.
But I like
shit.
No,
his uppercut is just like the greatest thing. That European uppercut he throws.
Yes, it's he.
The problem with I have with Oney Larkin is they watered him down because of the fact that I remember him on the indie scene down here at Ronin, and he was Martin Stone.
That's no, that's not Larkin. That's Birch.
Oh, Birch. I'm sorry, Birch. I thought you were talking. Sorry, because I like Timothy Thatcher and Danny Birch.
Right. Those are two other guys who are fucking just nuts. But yeah, Only Lorcan's really good too, and he's kind of like that hybrid American British kind of blend. So where he does like usual kind of high spots, but he also throws a lot of just hard strikes and just like he locks in these holds and he really like locks them in on people. It's like he's somewhat like him, like that whole undisputed era, and I don't know what to call him as a unit. 1-2 is that what we would call him as a unit?
Oh yeah, because they used to do this, right?
Yeah, because he Burst does the one. No,
Yeah,
Burst does two.
There's-
Yeah, 1-2. That whole undisputed era feud. That was chef's kiss.
Well, I
Like, and
mean,
they were
look at your
always
boy
like,
Trent Seven. Trent Seven and Tyler had a great run of matches with UE.
yes, they did. They definitely did.
I remember they won the titles in England, didn't they?
Yeah, they won the titles in England. I think they lost them back like that next
the next
that
Yeah.
NXT.
Yeah, but it was like a house show they won them at.
Yeah, I think it was like one of those because NXT UK doesn't get broadcast on TV. It was one of those one-offs where they kind of I think it was around Worlds Collide or something like that when they had.
So wait, you mean they won the titles in their home country and it wasn't a screw job? Interesting.
What a fuck.
All right. Oh, weird.
Dude, that's don't get me started on Bret Hart. I don't want to lose in Canada. Okay, so nobody wants to lose in America. Like, come on, shut up. Go
Weird.
cry, Brett. Go cry. Anyway, yo, this Noah, I have to thank you. This has been absolutely amazing. You're a very humble guy, but man, this interview was fun. I had a good time, and I could tell Chris was getting into it, man. Like when you guys started talking about progress and everything else, Chris's eyes lit up. He was like, "Oh wait, I like this guy. Let's talk."
Yeah.
So this has been absolutely fun. Thank you so much. And ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Wrestling Paradox podcast. You guys have just witnessed the beginning. I'm gonna call this the beginning of Noah King. From here on out, man, is nothing but big things. There are 3 or 4 big shows coming up over the next month and a half, 2 months, and I'm hoping to see you at all of them.
I'm gonna try to be at everything. I'm gonna try to be in wherever they need me. We have the Fort Pierce show on the 9th. We have Homecoming that next weekend. CCW.
Homecoming looks awesome, man. I'm so excited. We are going to be at both shows for Homecoming. It
That's
looks amazing. What a great card that looks like. Unfortunately, we won't be there on the 9th, but both Homecoming shows we will be at, and Enter the Machine we will be at. So there are big things coming for you, and we hope to see this ride progress a long time for you, and hopefully you become that next big thing, and we'll see where it takes you. And we're excited, man. We are very excited to see you grow and get everything rolling, man. So thank you so much for joining us tonight inside the Paradox.
Thank
you. This is I do this to everybody though. I'm gonna put you on the spot, kind of like Dan does. Cut a promo. I'm gonna make you cut a promo right now. You're taking out the show. You are the last person to talk. So let's see what you got.
Oh man, promo time. So ladies and gentlemen, I would like to formally welcome you to the Spotlight Lounge, and I am your hostess with the mostest. I am the prolific poet Noah King, the only MC you came to see. I am CCW's avant-garde, as I spoke before on the first episode of CCW Alive Wrestling. Alive 1, the spinoff show. Just on, making my come up. And I mean, listen, you can follow me everywhere at Noah King. Actually, it's _ Noah King Pro on Twitter, Instagram. And yeah, I mean, I don't have much to say. What I will say is soon enough, you'll remember the name. And just continue to tune in to CCW for one, because that's where you're going to find me, and that's what you want to see. So continue to tune in to CCW, continue to come out to the shows, and just know I have a lot of things written in the books, and then, once it is written, so shall it be. So thank you guys for having me again. And yeah, that's all I got.
That's it, baby. That's it. Hey, Chris, you know the line.
Something stupid.